Hi, it's Dr. Rogini. So today I want to cover about energetic postures. Okay, how our body, our posture, you can read them energetically. Okay, so I came up with 5 different types of postures. You may say different ones, but I found 5 important ones throughout my practice, and I'm going to list them and describe them. So you might be one of them, okay? Or you may have two of the different ones, because sometimes you can go from one to another and come back to this. It depends on how long you stay in that type of posture. Okay, so number one, which I find very common, is the rigid posture. Okay, so the rigid posture, I find these people are mostly in their logical mind. Okay, they're mostly in the mental plane, so they're constantly thinking, they're constantly um, using logical, like they're always analyzing stuff. And there's nothing wrong with that, but they're always up here, okay? And what happens is most of them are also in a very defensive mode, okay? They constantly, it's like they're trying to fight back. Their energy is always like fighting back. Okay, and what I find in their body, like with their muscle structures, their muscles are super tight. So when we palpate their back, it's like it feels like I'm touching a brick. Okay, so the muscles are so tight and very tensed up, and usually this is chronic. So they're in that posture chronically, and you notice that even when you treat them, they loosen up temporarily, but they go back into that rigid posture. So when it's rigid, you see their scalenes and their SCM muscles and the upper traps, all of them are super tight. But what I've noticed though over time, when I started to train them to breathe properly and tap in more into their instinctual, into their lower centers, meaning the sacral centers, they learn to be more in tune with their body. Their upper back muscles start to loosen up. Okay, so if you're one of those, please write it down in the comment section. I would love to hear how you feel with your body. Number two, what I find also is I call it worried posture or fear posture. So you can actually recognize that they're in that fear state, a little in that scared state. They're constantly worried, and you can, before even they start talking, you can see, I can feel it. Okay, and once they open their mouth, all their question is all about, what if this happens, what if that happens. There's so much doubt, there's so much distrust, there's not trust in that, in their energy field. Okay, and um and their posture is like they want help, but they hold back. It's kind of interesting to watch them. Okay, so they're really scared, so they're always in doubt. And typically patients like that, I tell them, you're very anxious, you're very worried. I would suggest, once you feel really ready, come back. So I don't really treat them because they are always scared. Even if you touch them, they don't know what will happen. So it's kind of a very scared feeling, and I understand where they're coming from. So I usually tell them, like, once you feel stable, when you feel ready, come back. Okay, and let me know if you're in that state, because some people, they like, no, 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 I need help, so they just shift right away. Okay, and you can see the energy shifting and the posture shifting right away. Okay, and usually in the fear posture, they're kind of more, their shoulders are rolled forward, they're kind of like in that hiding themselves in, it's like hiding away. Okay, and number the third one, I call it the giving up posture or sad posture. Okay, so again, this one, they also have a kyphosis, like a thoracic increased kyphosis, okay? So they're more hunched forward. They're like, I know it's important to surrender, but to the point that they've fully given up. They're not even trying at all. Okay? So, and typically these people have a hard time to straighten up their posture, because all these muscles, they've been probably chronically in that posture to the point that the muscles have adapted. They're learned to stay in that position. They can't straighten up again. Okay, and I find with regular care with them, their muscles do retrain and they come back up, but it takes time, because there is not just a physical misalignment, there's also mental misalignment too, right? So now they have to feel inspired again. They have to feel that, oh, I can do this again. All that, the inspiration has to come from inside of them. Once that opens up, there's a whole change in their energetic posture. Okay, I can talk a lot about this topic, but I'm just going to keep it very brief. And the fourth one is unrested posture or restless posture, whichever way you want to call it. I just term them based on my own personal experience. Okay, so this type of posture, they usually are, they're unrested, so they cannot sit still in one place. Okay, so meaning that it's moving around constantly. Okay, even when they're sitting down, their hands are in here and then they're over here. It's just energetically they're not rested. Okay, their energy field is all over the place. It's like they're overstimulated. And if you're one of those, I would highly suggest to buy my course, because that will help you to clear all these unnecessary stuff that's in your energy field. Okay, if you feel like you're constantly unrested, you cannot sit still, and you also, I find they cannot even look into someone's eyes because they're so uncomfortable with themselves. Okay, so if you're one of those, definitely buy that course, because it's going to make a huge difference in your energy field. Okay, and it's just like, because they're so overstimulated that wherever their hands, their body parts are, it's just, it never feels right. Okay, and typically I find these type of people, they work in type of environment where they constantly go kind of environment, or if they're older. Younger, usually they're watching too much TV, or they're always on the phone or something. So there's just so much going on that their nervous system does not have a moment to rest. Okay, and number 5, I call it the open posture. So it's the posture that just trusts and just is in the flow, and trust everything will work its way, and it's just surrendering to the universal power, like things are always working out for me kind of thing. Okay, everything is working out. Even if you have a bad day, you just trusting it's gonna work out. Okay, so it's a whole different posture, and those type of postures, I find it's not common. I don't find them all the time. Okay, and it's because there's not a lot of people who do these type of practice where they learn to really surrender and trust, although they are very inspired to do their things and they're desperate of certain things, but they also trust. So there's so much surrendering and that feeling of things will always work out for me. Okay, and sometimes you may go into that posture, the fifth one, but depending on if you're not used to train yourself to handle this relaxed energy, you could be easily thrown off from certain triggers. right? So, but if you know, if you once you train so well with that, you learn how to get back into that aligned posture or open posture. Okay, so what I mean by open is because you're energetically or you're open, but you have certain boundaries too. You're not like, oh, everyone come in, yay, like no. You have that the structure within you, but you're also very welcoming and very loving and divinely compassionate. Okay, I don't know if I said the right kind of word, but it's just that the feel. It's all about that feeling, right? And so you can definitely get out of these postures, okay? And another one I actually wanted to share is the rigid posture. Usually, not usually, they have a closed heart center, okay? It's like they're afraid to love. They're afraid to love themselves and love others. So they're so rigid that it's like extremely protective, and it comes from a defense. Okay, so once they start releasing that and opening their heart center, which I actually am creating a course on that, it's gonna be a course not for everyone because it is pretty intense. So once you do that course, I haven't created it yet, but it's gonna come out, and it is going to be pretty deep, because in order for you to do the heart center activation and releasing that block, you're going to have this this energetic boundary. Okay, it's like saying, let's crack an egg. I like to use that analogy. Let's crack an egg that has a shell, but you without a bowl, like you're gonna, if you open it, it's going to be dangerously nasty. It's going to smell, right? So, and same thing when you don't have that support, energetic support or energetic boundary, and you open your heart center, it's not going to be comfortable. It's going to be very uncomfortable. Okay, and you got to process. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming through, and so much stuff that will come out from that opening up that heart center. People who have done a lot of energy work and who have done a lot of chakra clearing, they know exactly what I'm talking about. But if you don't have that support, it's gonna be a healing disaster before it gets better. Okay, so I would suggest, if you're not sure, take my first course. Okay, do that 60, you may even need to do for more than 60 days. And it's all about clearing your energy field, connecting with yourself, recognizing certain emotions, and be aware of emotions instead of pushing it away and running away. So you really tap into yourself, learn, recognizing where emotions are stuck in the body, because emotions can become stuck in certain parts of our body, but the more you become in tune, you can release them out of your system. Okay, and it doesn't mean you're going to be emotionally perfect. You're not going to have any emotions, but you are going to be able to recognize and not hold on to it. You're going to be just a vessel. Things, emotions will come, you're going to feel sad, you're going to process, it's going to go. Okay, you're going to feel angry, you're going to process, it's going to be released to the point that it's not going to affect your body and your energetic body. Okay, and it's not going to affect your posture as well. Okay, hopefully this made really sense. I'm so looking forward from your comments. I would love to hear what kind of posture you're in and what type of feelings. Like right now, I just made you aware. Okay, so you might be like, oh, I have this or I have that. So let me see. I would love to hear back from you. Okay, thank you for watching. See you back on the next video.